Good evening. It's a Tuesday evening. My internet's horrendous, so that intro probably went horrendously wrong. It seemed very laggy on my end. I don't know what it's like for you. But joining me as always is Robbie. How's it going, mate?
Looking forward to tonight. Let's exercise some demons. Let's get it off our chest.
Yeah, I mean, we pretty much admitted off camera that this is now our just weekly therapy session. You know, and I saw the guitar in the background, and no, it's not Fedora. It's
no. This is a signed Alex Stewart cricket hat.
I mean, it could pass.
You're just about to see the Andrew Luck signed shirt as well.
That needs get whatever that wannabe Rounders poster is up on the wall and get Andrew Luck up there. I believe it's his birthday today.
Yeah, I saw they tweeted something out. Just when I see Andrew Luck, I've got to scroll through it because get a bit of PTSD. The tears start coming and depression sets in, and
right,
I can't take it anymore.
Speaking depression, should we get the negatives out of the way first?
I'll let you go first, mate.
Thanks. For me, 1 second. I thought that's better. Just zoom in on you there, because you wanted to zoom in on my face when Frank Wright did Frank Wright did a wild cut with Matt Ryan out wide, snapping it to Naheem Hines on the 2-yard line or whatever it was. Now, I get you don't want to be predictable. But when you're inside the 10 and you run it on 4 plays, I have a bit of a problem.
This isn't a Disney movie. And just let me jump in there. Some of the play calling were bloody questionable. Apparently, there was a bit of an argument on the sidelines with Matt Ryan and Frank Reich. Matt Ryan wanted to go more up tempo, wanted to kind of push it, whereas Frank Reich wanted to sit on his ass. But you can have that. When Alec Pierce made the drop and it was 4th and short, and decided to go for it. But then in the 4th quarter, of course, we didn't make that. But in the 4th quarter, they went for the 3. Where surely for me, you take the points when it's offered to you.
Yeah.
Especially when they went for the 3 points. Yes, it was good because it made sense. But at that point, the Texans their defense was gassed. And that's when you want to be putting under pressure. There was a lot of questionable play calls for me, and that's the hardest thing. If you're not going to be playing preseason, if you're not going to be getting the reps in mentally, physically, then you've got to be ready for week 1. And yet again, we weren't ready for week 1.
I mean, we said it just before we come on, mate. I don't believe in cursed bollocks and all that jazz. It's just negligence. It's laziness. It's just, again, it's the for me, the problem with this Texans game for me is it's the same old story.
Let me read you this quote. We'd like to see more of a rotation on a defensive line. We're still getting a feel for them, how well they practice and earning their right to get more reps on the field. You've just had the whole of the off-season and the pre-season for them to get their reps in and to get physically and mentally sharp, which that just shows to me, and it says to me that the whole of the off-season isn't strong enough. It's not fast enough. It's not just disciplined enough to start the season properly. This was the Texans. We should have been walking out of there, 34-20 winners, and I think if Alec Pierce and Ashton Doolan didn't drop those passes, I think Colts Nation would be a lot happier. There'd be frustrations. But again, TY isn't dropping those.
I do feel, I will jump to Ashton Doolan's defense. I thought that was a great defensive play by the Texan safety. It's a bit of a luck play. He's literally just stuck his fist out and it's landed on the ball rather than he's punched it. But I thought it was a great play. But and this is, I don't have a problem with Alec Pierce dropping a certain touchdown in the end zone when it's his first proper NFL game. It's going to happen. He's a rookie. I don't have a problem with the bad snaps between Ryan Kelly and Matt Ryan. They've obviously not worked together a lot. It's going to happen. Even the terrible pass protection from Braden Smith, I'm a little bit annoyed at and frustrated, because this is a guy who we need to be 2019 Braden Smith.
See that I would disagree. 4 fumbles, in an NFL game, in college, not high school. 4 fumbles in the pro game when you've got 2 extremely experienced players that are on a lot of money. But they're rookie errors.
Yeah.
From someone that is, Matt Ryan's supposed to be the leader there. If he's taking those fumbles, but again, that Ashton Doolan one, I think, in years past, that's a Jack Doyle there. That is in years past. So, last week, I questioned our wide receivers and if they were good enough, and the other thing I questioned is our defensive line. A lot of people were kind of talking it up, but unless you convince me otherwise, Harrison, I thought our defensive line was poor for the majority of that game. It just wasn't affecting that line enough again.
What I don't like about the defense, and it's a defense as a whole, and it was something I thought I'd never say. This defense feels softer than a fleece cover 2. Now, cover 2 is designed to give up the 3-yard dump offs.
Yeah.
And contain runs to 6 yards maximum. That's what his defense was. This defense is just, don't give up the big play, but don't try and stop the small play. And I'm a bit confused as to what we harp on about it a lot on this show, identity. Maybe apart from one man in that game on that defensive line, and that's Groy Stewart. I believe, for me, he was the only one. I know Quitty got the sack.
He got 2. He got awarded 2 in the end.
I thought it was a BS flag on Yannick and Gotway. I don't even want to get into referees. That was horrendous. But I thought Grover Stewart was the only one who showed like he wanted a spot, and it's just not good enough.
No, definitely. And if we look at the offense and defense, they turn up for maybe a combined of 1 quarter. I think certainly that 4th quarter, I think the Texans shit themselves. I thought they played soft going into that 4th quarter, and I think they let us. But I don't think we dictated the play to get back in the game. I thought they let us get into the game as well. Should we mention? Dare we mention Hot Rod?
Yeah, I mean,
you've had questions about him for a long time.
Yeah, and my question comes from, I give him the benefit of doubt in that Buffalo game because it was a bit of a cold kick, a hard kick. Like I definitely couldn't kick in Buffalo. I know that for a fact. So it's not an easy kick. Now, our concerns came around with his injury and how that injury came about. Was that injury trying to improve his strength, or was that injury just a freak injury? And I think that injury's affected his kicking game completely. Because for me, the 2 out of bounds kicks, or whatever you want to call it, he's been instructed to kick it short. And I think 98% of NFL teams, the 6 wide receiver or special team returner, whoever's there, tries and grabs them balls and tries to run out with it. I truly believe that. I think the Texans player made it look like he knew what he's doing, but I feel like he got lucky with the bounce. I really do. So I don't have a problem with that if that's what he's been instructed to do. If that's not what he's been instructed to do, then we have a bit of a problem.
And good teams mask their deficits.
Yeah.
Just a perfect example: Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know if you saw it. Their cornerback was doing the kicking.
What?
You go back and watch it. Buckner come on for one kick, but for the kickoffs and for the extra points, Reed was doing their kicking, and he's a cornerback. And the fact is, on the same night at the same time, sorry, it was a bit later, but he was doing all the kicking, and he was making the kicks, and he was making kicking look bloody easy. Yet we've got this kicker who isn't just doing what he's paid to do. And Ballard's obviously a very, very team-friendly guy. He's going to back his players.
Can you just give me a minute? I've just got to deal with something, mate.
Go on, you can go and have a wave if you want. Your light's gone off. I love it when you do this, Harrison. It just leaves me here talking to myself, and hopefully someone's going to come in the comment section if we can find it. And luckily for those watching this back, Harrison will be with us on Tuesday nights. He had some good news. Hi, Harrison.
I think the cleaners just locked me in.
No way.
Yeah, but I'm all right. I've got master keys. But yeah, so kicking.
Yep.
It's God. It's at the point where it's like, is it? I like Hot Rod, nice guy, whatever. I don't think he's the best choice going forward.
You've said this for a long time.
Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't say I got a steak. Someone questioned my thingy on, I think it was on Twitter, or maybe even in a group. I can't remember, but it's not that he can't kick. He's just not a clutch kicker, and that's where my problem lies.
But when I was watching the game the other night, they kept going back to Hot Rod as he was warming up. And he looked so stressed and tense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it just didn't look like. And when you're kicking, you need to be relaxed. And it now is what it is. Again, if Doolan and Pierce would have made those catches, it'd be a 34-20 win.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe more because it had killed the game off. And if I would have said to you last week, we're gonna have 33 first downs compared to their 20. We had a total of 90 plays. They had 68. We had a total of 517 offensive yards to their 299. Mm-hmm. Matt Ryan going for 352 yards. Pittman going for 121 yards in the air. Hines going for 50 yards in the air. JT going for 160 yards on the ground. You'd say we would have absolutely smashed it.
Yeah.
But it's just that, again, it just comes back to that lack of, really putting your foot on their neck and killing the game.
Mm-hmm.
And there was chances in the fourth quarter where if it was a bit more ruthless, which, I'm not saying get rid of Frank Reich, but certainly his ass has got to be on the hot seat.
Mm-hmm. I mean, for me, it to take it to a football soccer analogy or comparison, this felt very much like an Arsene Wenger Arsenal. All of the possession, all the fancy tricks and plays and skills and everything, and the draw 0-0.
But I think I said last week, and I think I said at the end of last season, I can't remember the last time watching a Colts game was fun.
Yeah.
When I've really enjoyed it. And then this is a product. People like us just end up getting addicted and, too far emotionally invested.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, something's got to change out there. And,
And do you know what? I'm going to change our attitude right now.
Go on then, mate. You did this to me last week.
Yeah.
I was Mr. Negative with all the questions, and then you got me twisted. You twisted my mind. You got me positive. You got me thinking it was going to be 17-0. And then look what happened Sunday.
0-1 as a good ring.
Oh,
undefeated. Positives.
Go on then, mate.
I felt a lot more comfortable with Matt Ryan on the centre. A lot more comfortable.
As long as you do, because I don't.
I don't get why. The mistakes, yeah, whatever. Bad day at the office. This guy throwing the ball is something I've not seen in a Colts quarterback for a long time, and that is a good throw. And that sounds it just looks good.
That's a fair comment. That is a fair comment.
And I think there was one pass, and Pittman was a monster in that Texans game. He made himself open. So it was an easy throw, but the throw was here. The throw was here. He could catch it here.
Technically
and it was
sound, wasn't it?
I suppose he can do what Carson Wentz couldn't do, and that's he can touch pass it. He doesn't just steam it in at the numbers as hard as he can.
Did Wentz even hit the numbers?
He threw it as hard as he could have hoped. But for me, is it not being negative, but is it better than Phillip Rivers? Yeah, in a sense. I like the fact that Matt Ryan has more of the Phillip Rivers traits than the Carson Wentz traits at the minute. And that was my worry. It would be the other way around. So, positive. JT, best running back in the league. Don't even at me. Don't even.
31 carries. He can't do that with you, can he?
Do you know what I mean? He is a monster. I thought Pittman was fantastic. I don't want to get onto a wide receiving core because it feels a bit underwhelming at the minute, and I'm really, really struggling. For me, I mean, you're going to like this, but where Paris Campbell fits into this team, I don't get it.
He had a catch last week. He's still fit. He's still running. He's not injured.
He had a catch, but if you're not going to use his strengths,
his size,
if you're not going to use, for me, I don't get why Campbell's not in the slot more often. He's doing these. I don't even know what routes he's doing, but he's not a route runner. He's a speed guy. So stick him on a slant. There's your RPO. Easy as that. But anyway, more positives. I thought defense. I thought Grover Stewart was an absolute monster.
Yeah.
Again, that guy's a bad man. I like him.
We held their offense lovely.
Yeah, special teams apart from the penalties and not missing the winner. I thought Hack was brilliant. I thought
all the boys in the backfield were good.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of positives to take out of this game. It's just for me, there seems like there's a big disconnect between the head coach, the offensive coach, the defensive coach, and the special teams coach. They're not all on the same page, and that's where problems start for me.
And let me drink some of your positivity juice. It's week one.
It's week one. Means nothing. That game means absolutely nothing.
Again, because Frank Reich's incompetencies, and I will call it that, we weren't ready for the season again, but we're playing Jacksonville. I have said this every single year, but it's Jacksonville. They're not firing either. This AFC South is absolute shite. We're second, and none of the teams won. And two of us played each other. It is a shite division, and we're so lucky that hopefully we're going to be the best of the worst. But at the moment, I don't want to even get to the playoffs, because if we don't get to the playoffs, then bigger changes happen. Thinking long term, we're going to be on our 7th quarterback in our 7th year next year. How do you build an identity around that? Admittedly, we haven't, you look at some of the quarterbacks around the league, and we're certainly not in the worst position.
No, but
you know, you got people like Russell Wilson signing a 280 million pound contract, and like he's can't even manage the end of a game.
And if there's three things certain in life, that's Frank Reich overthinking things in the end zone, red zone. Sorry, that's the Colts not winning week 1, and that's Tom popping in to say hello. The AFC is there for if we do not win the AFC South this year, I will take all the banter from Titan fans of being a banter club, because the Titans looked horrendous.
Yeah, but they're definitely saying the same about us, though.
Yeah, but I mean, they look boring. So
are we.
I don't think we are low. I think I'm not making excuses, but I think Darius Leonard not being there is a major reason for not winning that game. I thought EJ Speed was brilliant. I thought, to be honest, I thought some of the defenders or defensive team were fantastic. It's just, what's the saying? It felt like a team of individuals. Is that the saying?
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Yeah. Felt like we had 11 individuals rather than a team out there. For the 7 quarterbacks in 5 years, or whatever you want to call it, or whatever it is, or I don't buy into that. I do not buy into that, because if you are an elite coach, you get the best out of that quarterback, no matter what. And for me, Philip Rivers was the Chris Ballard choice. Carson Wentz was the Frank Reich choice.
Yeah.
Matt Ryan is the Antichrist of Carson Wentz, so he's obviously the Jim Irsay choice. I don't like the office politics. There's too much of it swirling around in the Colts front office at the minute. They need to get together and decide what the plan is, because
best thing, there hasn't been an identity for such a long time. You know, and I will keep harping on about it. But again, keep trying to get positive. You know, Jacksonville this week. Then we've got Kansas, so you know, whatever happens there. But then we've got Titans, Broncos, Jaguars, Titans, Washington. You know, so if we can, you know, get our receivers catching, you know, because again, you know, we were 2 catches away from this being the most positive week 1 show ever. It's as simple as that. If they had made those catches, the Colts Nation would be anywhere near as negative. You know, the kick-in situation, we're like, oh, he's had an off week. It doesn't matter because we won. You know, pass rush weren't quite there. Oh, we still managed to win. We held them to 20 points. We held their running game very well. I think it's under 70 yards. I think it was. So it's just, you know, the winning always papers over the cracks.
Yeah. God, I had a point to bring up then, but I completely forgot.
So I was just rambling. You know, and you know, in the first 6 weeks, you know, not really, only playing one. You know, that's only one playoff team. Because you know, yes, the Titans were in it last year, but they've lost so many players and got so many injuries. It's ridiculous, and you know, we should be now, other than the Kansas City game, you know, we should be winning them. More
targets, just I'm going to say Strachan, because
Strachan.
We invented the language. It's Strachan.
Gordon Strachan.
Yeah, I feel like Matt Ryan fell back a bit on leaning on Pittman in that game, which is good for that connection. But
9 catches for 121 yards is unreal. You know, Hines getting 50 off 6. You know, but it's the red zone issues that we've had. You know, we used to blame Philip Rivers not using his legs on red zone. You know, that's where Jacoby used to come in. Jacoby's probably slower than Philip Rivers was. However, he is Super Bowl winning Jacoby Brissett. Then we'd blame Carson Wentz for not running the game properly. And again, we had red zone issues yesterday. There's a common theme here.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we know what that common theme is. And, it just takes a bit of bollocks. But I think, from hearing the arguments Matt Ryan was having on the sidelines, if Matt Ryan's going to really kind of take it by the scruff of the neck, then I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Take the points that are bloody given to you.
What I don't get is I can sit through all that game, right? My biggest problem with Frank Reich in that game is we get the ball back in overtime. They pinned us back deep. Fine.
They punted it from the halfway line. I'd be pissed if we did that.
Yeah. I didn't understand why they didn't.
It was a 4-3. That's how much trust they had in them.
Yeah. And then the first thing he did, as if he hadn't learnt from last year in the Titans game, was throw a screen pass from his own end zone that got 3 yards and wasted probably about 12 seconds. I didn't count. Not even like a play action or a bootleg or a slant play or a cross, something that can get you maybe 10, 15 yards to get you within a chance of maybe getting to your target line. And then he tried some hook and ladder bollocks. Not even like, it was so conservative because he was thinking, I'm not losing this game. You might as well have just taken the knee.
No.
And that's where my problem lies is you want to, we used to call him the Riverboy Gambler, Frank Wright. That was his nickname because 4th and 1, guarantee you're going for it. Now, if he doesn't get a little bit, I think he's got too comfortable because now if he doesn't get something he doesn't like, it's just instant screen pass. I don't get it. Screen passes have not fooled anyone for probably about 12 years now. I don't get it.
Especially with the weapons that we've got.
Especially when you always bring out Jonathan Taylor, put in Nyheim Hines. Everyone knows, including me, he's there to catch it, not to run it. And I just, anyway.
I will forgive Frank Reich if Quentin Nelson gets a touchdown this year.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I don't get, right? You're on 4th and short to the end zone. You've got the best in my opinion, the best offensive lineman in the game. You've got the best running back in the game, who's known as a powerhouse running back. You've got Ryan Kelly, who's should be a Hall of Famer, really. Why are you just not running it straight up the fucking middle? It's not that hard. And everyone who will say, "Oh, it's blah 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 blah,"
and you bring Mo Cox back around just to fucking hit him up the arse to get him that extra yard if needed.
Yeah.
But hey, mate, that's why we're sat in our homes at work.
Yeah.
This is why we're talking about it. It's just so frustrating, but it's quite strange because obviously we was away at Texans this week and we're away at Jacksonville next week, back-to-back away games. But I don't care. This Jacksonville team is there for the taking. Trevor Lawrence isn't their next coming. Trevor Lawrence has not shown me anything. To be fair, I didn't watch their game at the weekend, to be fair to them. I know they lost, but life's too short to go back and watch the Jaguars highlights.
I will stick by this. And I made this claim very early on. I said Trevor Lawrence will be a bust in a different podcast.
No. You've said it with me, mate.
Yeah. I said he will be a bust. And I got laughed out of the room. And I said, listen, he's not an Urban Meyer guy. And I thought it might just be that. But don't even try and compare him to Andrew Luck. That's what I saw, Give away the man.
Do you know what? Obviously, again, to bring up Andrew Luck, it's like the girl you can't get over. It's
I can't.
Watching Josh Allen for the Bills mate. It's like watching Andrew Luck again.
What people forget about that as well, Andrew Luck had the worst line in the league and was throwing to Philip Dorset. I don't even know if it was Philip and Dante Moncrief.
When Moncrief went to the Steelers, I was like, I got a Steelers mate, and I was like, mate, he is mustard, and he was absolutely shite.
Concrete Moncrief. No, I quite liked him. Anyway, besides, but he was doing whatever Josh Allen's doing now with half the tools.
Yeah,
and that's how seriously talented Andrew Luck was. But anyway, let's forget about Andrew Luck.
No, can we have another hour of just reminiscing how beautiful he is? He was at the Stanford game at the weekend with his wife and kids.
Yes, and he bigged up the women's game, I believe,
massively. But do you know what I was like? Again, that just something in the back of your mind that isn't quite healthy. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, he's just got the Hall of Fame like recognition at Stanford.
Yeah,
maybe he wants to come back to the NFL. Maybe he's come away thinking, oh, I fancy doing that again in the NFL. You know, it's not going to happen. But I was just, maybe there's a chance.
Maybe. Anyway, for me, there is one person that I would not like to be in a room with after that performance, and that was Reggie Wayne. Did you see the death stare from Reggie? I think it was, I can't remember who it was, but somebody dropped an easy catch that, honestly, never mind the 100-mile stare or what they call it, it was like from here to Scotland and back. I would not like. It's one of them, like, you don't look to the sideline. Do not look to the sideline because
they were the standards that would be set.
Yeah,
they were the standards that were there, and yeah, it's just not. Yeah, I think I'm going to get. I've got Chuck Pagano's autobiography. I think I'm going to get out and read that again and reminisce about the Andrew Luck years.
I mean, what I do like about this Colts team is that feels like the Colts on a very bad day. What we just watched. It feels like there's a lot of potential for this team to go. You know, I'm not sitting there with worries over the quarterback, with his accuracy or his bipolarness in throwing, or I'm not sitting there thinking Matt Ryan can't move. He obviously is a mobile quarterback. He spent like 10 years in Arizona, running around. Atlanta, sorry, not Arizona.
So I was just checking the scores from the weekend. I just wanted to double check what the Jaguars was.
They lost to the Commanders.
Carson Wentz scored 28 points on Jaguars. Couldn't do it for us last year, could he? Oh no, look at me, I'm Carson Wentz. I look like Prince Harry.
But I mean, I think what a lot of the internet forgets is the problems with Carson Wentz for Colts fans was never his ceiling. Carson Wentz's ceiling is Super Bowl champion. The problem was his flaw. His flaw is losing to the Jaguars in a winning game. And not even a good Jaguars team, a bad Jaguars team. So there's that. I'm trying to think what else from the weekend. It was just a bit underwhelming. Even though all them fancy numbers, it was just underwhelming.
It was just, it's just another week of like, what am I watching?
Yeah, and it seems stupid that we don't have an identity when we have the best running back.
The best guard.
We have a Hall of Fame quarterback. We have the best left guard.
Is Shaq Leonard back this week? Do we know?
I don't even want to think about it. I really don't.
I said to you and the guys tonight that this is going to roll on week, and then before you know it, he won't ever play a snap again. That's the Colts way. Like cutting Peyton Manning. Since then, I think it's just like cursed us.
I don't want to think about
it. The football gods just hate us.
I mean, if I think about the positives, I believe, next year, I believe they're both eligible. And we know how good Chris Ballard is at drafting. So we could end up with Arch Manning and Marvin Harrison Jr. as a wide receiver quarterback duo. I'd run it back for that.
It ain't happening. Like the rest of the
Thanks
league,
for Arch.
the rest of the league will not let that happen.
A man can dream, all right.
Yeah.
But
I can dream that Andrew comes back.
But no, if we're trying to end this show positive, you know, there is a long way to go. That game's that, you know, the first 3 games are pretty much dead rubber. Unless you play 3 divisional opponents and you lose all 3.
Oh.
Yeah.
We could be out of the season by week 6.
Nah, we've been low before. We'll come back. But the last thing I want to sort of touch on is the absolute bullshit officiating. The absolute bullshit.
I thought we were going to leave that. It's just the inconsistency.
Yeah. What for me, before the phantom PI call, what happened to Kenny Moore, I believe, which was absolute rubbish. There was a clear helmet to helmet
down on the sideline.
Yeah, a clear, like, not even like, you don't even need to review it. Like, how that wasn't flagged is ridiculous. And then, which one was it? I can't remember, but yeah, like you say, the consistency, it just wasn't consistent. And it's like, you guys are meant to be the best. But it's just the same old refereeing faces we see. I mean,
hold on, mate.
Well,
hold that thought. Breaking news: the Colts have released kicker Rodrigo Blankenship.
Wow, that's a breaking news. I'm pretty sure that's the first breaking news we've had on this show. Like, we've actually been on it.
Yeah, it just came up. Yeah, the Colts are waving kicker. Josh Lambo. He's got great hair. Josh Lambo's got lovely hair.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about that. And I think I need to go away and digest that before we talk about it on the show.
Josh Lambo single-handedly beat the Colts in Wembley.
I mean, I'll be all right to trade for Trevor Lawrence as well, to be honest.
No. Give me Matt Ryan over Trevor Lawrence.
But yeah.
Bring back Tom. Bring up that Harrison. Bring up that comment. I don't know how to.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, Tom. I agree with this.
Now, Tom. Before we came on, we did our research on this. Love it when that happens. He is recently with Jacksonville Jaguars, but was released a couple of weeks ago, so he's actually a free agent.
I would have.
He wasn't one of the names that were. He wasn't one of the names that were listed today that had the tryouts. It was Josh Lambo and someone else. But it doesn't mean he wasn't worked out somewhere else in the country, does it?
I mean, I have had my worries. Like, I hate it when someone gets cut, obviously, but it is a cutthroat business. It is a win now business. You have to win. So I get it, but he wasn't the only problem in that game. Now, for me, what it does say is accountability is being held. There's no more free passes now. Not for Frank Wright, not for Chris, not for Bubba, not for Gus Bradley. On that note, mate, because I really do have to shoot off now and get home. We will wrap the show up there unless you have anything to add on.
No, mate. Let's roll through Jacksonville.
Easy as that. Let's roll through. I can't even say it.
Go on, mate. Get your teeth back in.
Right. Just that breaking news. Thanks, Tom, for watching, and anyone else who jumped in. Tom always jumps in.
We love Tom.
The Colts, for the first time in
7-8 years.
7-8 years, didn't lose, but they didn't win, which feels just as bad as a loss. We are going to roll through Jacksonville. There we go.
You got it.
And just a PS, my last night, I've called it from before the start of the season. My starting QB is Sammy, the future Super Bowl winner, absolute arm slinger. Erlinger. He's my starting QB. That guy wins us 3 Super Bowls. That's all I'm saying.
Harrison, I think you're delusional, man. I think we've done enough for the night.
See you all later.
Later.
Bye.
Bye.